So I got a chance to try DNF over the weekend. A lot of you may have also had chances to try DNF and KOF over the weekend because both of them were available. I only had one day to play, so I figured I would try the new video game. But the KOF beta seems like the netcode is great now. Better but still funky. Okay, I hope that it gets fixed all the way. Improvements are a good sign though. I'm happy to hear that they had some good fixes for that and that the ping display is on there now too. As far as DNF goes, let's not start with the gameplay, okay? I'll get to the gameplay after we talk about all the other stuff. My only chance to play the game was Friday, and here's the thing, like I had a busy weekend, I had a lot of other stuff planned. I was only able to stream it the day where it was gonna be the worst, right? Like the first hours of the beta is always gonna be the worst time. The servers are going to be exploding. You're not going to be able to connect to anybody. There's going to be a lot of issues. And I think that's like, you know, it's par for the course. I booted up the game. And the first thing that happened was there was no training mode. It was only online. It was you play against other people, which the first minute you boot up the game when the servers are exploding is not really the best mode to play. There's a lot of issues trying to play online and like the lobbies, people are getting into them and it's like they can't move and stuff. There's just all kinds of problems. Super normal for a game that's just, you know, it's having a beta. Once they put the servers in maintenance, there was CPU battle. And chat, boy, was I hyped for CPU battle. Something I never thought I'd be hyped for in my entire life. I was like, sick. I get to now try all the characters that I wanted to try. I had like 6 or 7 characters of the 10 that I was like, maybe I'll like them. And the single player mode in the beta was random select characters for both characters. If I was going to play multiple days, like, you know, at least I could have spent the first day learning a bunch of the characters and then, you know, played Saturday and then tried some more and played online and then played Sunday and then tried some more and played online. But I just don't have the time. And I kind of expected that, but I would have been okay if the single player mode just allowed me to pick my character. Or if there was a training mode. Either would have been totally fine. I would have been like, cool, at least I can try some things with the character I want to play and have a good time. But, you know, I've heard so many people already telling me, Sajam says like he's not going to play DNF anymore. He thinks the game is whack and all this kind of stuff. I have a very reliable source that I'm going to try the game again, and it's myself. Look at this source that I have here, that if there's another beta, training mode or not, or if the video game just releases, I will play it again. I have no idea where these people, what their source is. It's the same source, I think, when they say, hey, it's an online beta, and they didn't want anybody to play single player at all, and if training mode's in the game, nobody will play online. Citation needed. It must be very easy to find because I keep hearing people repeat that. If we have training mode, no one's gonna play the game online. They're all just gonna be sitting there, sweating it up, pit stains McGee, and they're not gonna go online. First of all, I would love to see the data on how many people would just never leave training mode and only play training mode. It has got to be an extremely small percentile. Most people, I think, myself included, do not want training mode to optimize our characters or optimize like our combos we're doing or anything like that. Training mode is a great way to try a character. You know how I am with training mode, chat. I'm not like a sit in training mode all day kind of. How long am I in training mode before I go play online every day? Like 3 minutes. If you've seen me learn any game, people get pissed at me all the time because I go into training mode, I learn like the most basic thing, and then I go play the video game. I mean, KOF was the same weekend. It also has training mode in it already, and I just see people playing the video game online the whole time. In fact, there was so much feedback from the first KOF beta that had online mode and training mode that the online was bad that they went and fixed it for the second beta and worked on it in between. Anyway, let's get to the next part. The next part is they just want you to test the online. Fair enough, I understand. I get that they want to test the online. There's a phrase you hear a lot about fighting games that have rollback and their online play is good, which is it feels just like offline. An important part about that idea is that you know what the offline feels like. Part of the cool thing about playing a video game in training mode, right? Let's say you training mode and you find a combo, or even it doesn't even have to be training mode. Let's say you play against the CPU and you find a combo and you practice that combo. You do it one time. You're like, okay, I've got this simple little combo I found. Then you do it against an opponent with 20 ping, and then you do it against an opponent with 120 ping, and all of those situations feel the same. It's an easy way to compare those things side by side. If the excuse is like, Strive's beta did not have training mode. That is true, and everybody fucking hated that. Strive CBT had like delay-based netcode. and it had no training mode, and people fucking hate it. They were like so pissed the whole time. And then there was training mode and rollback in the open beta test, and people were much happier. Yeah, you could also pick your character in the single player mode, which also helps. It's 3 full days. They're going to get plenty of data. And not only that, if you were working Friday or you're not available, you couldn't download it, whatever happened, and you can only play Saturday or you can only play Sunday, you show up Sunday and you are so fucked, actually. Don't even know what my attacks look like. I don't even know what my special moves are. And the other guy is playing Ranger and shooting me to fucking death. He's doing these 40% combos on me. He's doing Rainstorm and twerking on me. You're like, yeah, you know, this is rough. It should have a training mode. We should all want a training mode to be in the game, or some at least selectable CPU battle. Let me choose just make it the character I have locked in the menu. You don't have to pick up the pitchforks and march in the streets. You can just be like, yeah, I would love a training mode in the next beta or demo you guys do. And then hopefully they'll do it. You aren't entitled to anything in a beta. No, but as a developer, you're also not entitled to more time and experience and also my money if you make a product that I'm not interested in playing or buying. I'm an enthusiast. I play fighting games for thousands of hours. I commentate them for my job. I love fighting games. The reason I want these features in them is because I care about playing them, and it would make the experience better. You might not even buy the game and play it. You're doing all this caping for this company. You might just decide, nah, fuck that. It doesn't have the character I like, or the sun's in my eyes, or I want to go play Halo Infinite with my little cousin. We're not the same in terms of our investment, involvement, and care about the genre. And you don't have to make excuses for them. You're allowed to just be honest about the things that should be in the video game that you would like to be there. Anyway, let's go back and talk about the video game. I got a chance to play the video game, and I watched the video game a ton. This game, I gotta say, has some of the funniest things I've seen in a video game in a while. Crusader with the hammer making walls, the fucking fire tornado that's like Rashid's V-trigger but goes the entire screen and you can just do over and over. The giant wheel that can put someone in like 25 seconds of block stun. Ranger jumping and spinning at the top of the screen and just shooting bullets. It's hilarious. Like, it genuinely gives me the giggles. There are so many high power level moves at a glance. You look at the wheel, you look at the flame tornado, you watch Hitman or Ranger hit you from full screen. They're like doing 50% side switch combos in these Vanguard normals, and like there's such high power level on all this stuff in terms of like their hitboxes and the space they take up. But there's like not a lot of teeth behind them. You can put someone in 25 seconds of block stun, but they don't get guard broken. Or you put them behind the wheel, and because there's a block button, the mix-up you do is like jump in overhead or jump in low. You put them in 25 seconds of block stun to do a throw that does like almost no damage and resets you back to neutral. It's kind of weird, actually, that it's like that. It feels very strange. And then also, yeah, you have a 1-button DP. So if you're going to stick them in block stun, you need to do something sick nasty during this block stun that's going to make them be like, oh god, I'm going to explode, right? The other thing is, right, is that the normals and the amount of space on screen you can attack is massive. You have the hitboxes in this game are out of control. And then you walk with your character and your character's like, dish, 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 dish. Like his stone feet, there is no walk speed. Your character is slow as fuck. So then you're like, okay, let me run, right? And the run is pretty quick, but then you run block, and you're not really advancing that quickly. You have Granblue roll that's like farther, but then they might just wait for your roll and then smoke you. And then you have a jump, and only 2 characters had air options in their jump that were like movement stuff, right? But for the most part, their movement is kind of limited, and there's no air blocking, and there's 1-button DPs. So like, as I was watching and playing the game, I was like, you know, there's a lot of funny stuff in this video game. But relative to the power level that you can attack in the screen space, the movement is so slow. Advancing on some of these characters looks like a nightmare. Like, I was like watching people fight against the Vanguards, Berserkers, Rangers. The movement doesn't seem to match up with the power level of the moves. And even the mix-ups actually kind of don't even match up with the power level of the space the moves take. I kind of expect that will change. Like, I'd be surprised if that doesn't change in some way. Either the moves will become less silly and you get like a slower paced game, or they will increase the teeth behind like the mix-ups and like the movement and other stuff. I don't want it to like slow down and then become more Granblue. I would rather it just take that concept and make it wackier. Because I think if you're going to have a game with 1-button, quarter screen, 10-second block stun, moves like that you just hit a button and it happens. If you want to make a video game like that, you kind of need it to be wacky and wild and have like high power level, because if it's low power level, it's just going to be you walking into buttons and a 1-button DP that you cannot air block for, like, you know, over and over and over. You're going to be dash blocking against a character who has 3/4 screen normals and a 1-button anti-air DP, and you're going to be like, I can't jump, I can't move, help. Like, I feel like it kind of has to get wackier unless a lot of stuff changes. That was my first impression. I was kind of surprised. You know, when you play a mirror match and your character's like a specialist, you're really good at like this one range, but you're really bad at dealing with that range. That's what it felt like playing the whole game, kind of. Everybody is really good at like attacking a lot of space, but not really good at like obtaining a lot of space. I think the dodge felt good, but also at the same time, even by like end of the first day when I was watching people on the second day, a lot of people just like walked up and then let you dodge and then smoked you. It feels like it's the Grand Blue roll, but it has way more distance, but that distance, it almost is like it doesn't help you, I feel like, because you travel so much of the screen and then you just get smoked anyway. In my head, there's almost no chance we don't get another beta or demo of the game, right? And I really hope that we get a lot of cool new stuff in it, because currently, like, moving with any character did not feel lovely. I think the conversion is probably what you have to use to do some mix-ups off of jump-ins and stuff. I think the problem, though, is that like you end up sacking a lot of life to do it. If you need to like have taken damage and have white life to do the cool thing, then that's kind of a worrying thing to me. Like, I want to be able to do the cool things. I don't know. I'm curious if it ends up being a good mechanic or not. It's hard to say early on. No Oki off throw feels very weird in that game. Like, I watch people throw a ranger and I was just like, ew. He just got up and was like just fucking shooting them to death and stuff. I was like, well, that is how it goes sometimes, I suppose. The game looks fun, though. Every fighting game, especially to begin with, is very fun. In that current version, I wonder in long term how much fun it would be. I think at some point, you're going to be walking and blocking or dashing and blocking a lot. And will the game be fun at that point? I'm not sure. I kind of want there to be some more nasty shit, either in the movement or in the offense or both. When I see people say the movement felt great, I also assume I'm just a different species than them, because I did not. My first thoughts were that the Gatlings did not feel like, the chaining did not feel good and the movement did not feel good. I saw so many people saying that like there are design choices that are supposed to feel like the MMO, right? Which I think that makes sense. But like if it's like the movement is slow to match the whatever it's called, then like I'm a little worried, because well, then we need something. The shitty UI is faithful to the MMO, yeah. I think shitty UI is the new trend. I think it's in these days. Better than Strive UI. You know, there are sentences you say where you think it's a victory, but I'm not sure. I think I'm like better than a 6-year-old at like tetherball. But I don't know that I'm good at tetherball. There are like people who think I'm like, I hate DNF. Like, I think DNF is the worst thing ever. I'm never going to play it again. I cannot wait to play it again. I'm super down. I'm not very grumpy, and I don't really like hold grudges. So like if the new beta is out like tomorrow, I'll be like, ooh, shiny. And I'll go play it, preferably with training mode. That would be awesome. The amount of comments I got that were like, you don't know how it is back in the arcade days, learning from scratch, no training mode. You're a sweat who can't learn the video game without training mode. First of all, I used to go to an arcade 3 times a week to play video games. I'm aware of what arcades are like and what it's like there. Second of all, boy, what a stupid fucking approach. You're so right. I hope instead of being able to buy this game, we have to pay $1 every time we want to fucking play it. And there should be no online. It should just be offline only. Like, that was wild. Yes, there was like somebody who said that they're like, you wouldn't have had more fun if the game had training mode. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I would have. Source, I'm me. I'm pretty sure I can give a good assessment of what I would like to do.